Welcome to number 34 of the anime list. Okay, so we're on Princess Stride Alternative. Okay, so I'm gonna get off the main characters right off the gate. Princess Stride is a running anime, sort of. I'll explain that when we get to that, and I'll also explain the details of why it's better than the last animes, and also why it's the fifth best sports anime I've ever watched to this point. Okay, so let's get to the three main characters. You got a girl who's the only girl that's part of the team. You also got the main character who is a blonde guy who doesn't like his brother so much, but he just wants to run with him at the very end. He learns how to be faster than his brother because he actually wins it. And then his friend who the who is his friend back in like middle school, but he forgot who the hell he is in the beginning of the anime, but then he remembers at the end. He wants him to run, and that's why he decided to run in the first place, and he's really good. Okay. With that being said, though, that's the three main characters. They all tried to be good. The girl, on the other hand, she's not a runner. She's a elationist. Elationist makes sure that when one runner is towards the next runner, she has to tell them to go because if they are late to run to get to the takeout zone, means that they will be disqualified if he runs past the takeout zone. If he runs out, if the other person doesn't high five his teammate before the takeout zone, the team is disqualified. It's really hard for me to explain the anime as a whole because it's not your typical track and run field anime like one run with a win. This anime does it completely different. It's like track and field combined with gymnastics, sort of. I mean, you're pretty much there's obstacles all over the place, and the obstacle in the place that you're running is like running towards her because the when they do the races they put hurdles, and they also put this, that, and the other thing here, and that's the main thing. Now then, they want to join Princess Stride. That's why it's called Princess Stride, and they're the Stride team. There's only consists of three members, two guys that are good, and the third member does not really come in later because of the fact that he stayed away because of the fact that there was some drama in the beginning. If you want to watch it, go ahead. I won't explain. But all three runners are runners. Of all the characters, though, they needed three members to make sure that the Stride team does not get disbanded. So they teamed up with the Shogi Club, which only had one member, and he decides to do two races. The first race he sucks. The second race he gets his arm broken because he's a moron because he tried to jump through this, that, and the other thing, and he's actually the most character development. After he gets injured, though, he's not running for the rest of the race, and that comes the new guy who's faster than he is. Okay, so that's what my main thing is. Now then, it's pretty much point A to point B. It's like track and field, except for it's like a, it's like one of those No, it's not like a NASCAR because NASCAR goes around in a circle. It's like a car race from point A to point B, but instead of using a car, you're technically running. The girl is the one that has to tell the runner when to go because each runner is stationed to a different spot so that way they can high five each other. They don't high five each other around the spot though. Because the person that's still running is running, and when the other person runs, they're further away, so they have to run towards them. So if they're running faster than the runner, they need to connect because if they don't connect, means that they are disqualified. Like I said before, it's a really interesting concept when it comes to a sport that doesn't really, I don't even know if it exists, but if it does, it's a really interesting sport. Um, it's really interesting because it's like gymnastics smashed with track and field. You go to point A to point B like a car race that's like only has like point A to point B, which means that you don't go in a circle. And that's the main thing I like about this anime. Now then, all the character. Now then, the main reason why it's better than every other anime is because it's good. It has its drama, and the fact that the main character who has blonde hair learns how to stick up for himself with his brother, because he has brother issues, but then he beats him at the very end, so that's a good thing. Spoiler alert. But he always compares himself to his brother, which his brother is a lot better, and he says his brother always tries to go easy on him, which he doesn't. But you digress. Now then, it's at number 34. Now then, the main reason why it's not higher on the list, but before we explain why it's not higher on the list, I would like to say this. This is my fifth favorite sports anime of all time. It's in the top 5 when it comes to the sports genre, because there's only 4 more sports animes on this list that I think are better than this anime. But with that being said, though, the main reason why it's not higher on the list is because of the fact that out of all the teams that they verse, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and they only race 5 races, which is fine because there's only 12 episodes. But I think the main problem is the fact that out of all the 5 races, 3 teams don't really get that much of a character growth. They don't. They're just there for that one episode and then they're done. The only team that gets character development or like progression through the story is the team that's a rival, and that's pretty much about it. Every other team gets shafted, and that's sad. And the worst thing about it is that the last team is not the rival team. The rival team is the second to last race. I mean, the rival team, the team that his brother's on, he only races them once. I mean, they do race twice to get official times, but that's beside the point. My main problem is the fact that other than the brother's team, the main character's brother is the only character that gets character development. Everyone else does not. That's the main problem I have with this anime, and it's because of the fact that the rest of the teams don't. The 3 teams, including the last team that they beat, don't get no character. They're only in with 1 episode besides the final team. The final team gets a couple more episodes, but the other 2 teams only get 1 episode each. And that's my main gripe about it. The only other team that gets more episodes is the team the rival team, and that's only because they're helping each other out, trying to get better as a team to do it. That's my only issue I have with it, and that's why it's at number 34, because of the fact that it's too short. If they put the anime a lot longer so they can make the other characters develop, the other teams develop more, then I probably will put it higher. But the other 2 teams only get 1 episode each, and that's my main problem with it. They just focus on the same 2 teams. And then once the same 2 teams are in, the final team only comes in like 2 or 3 episodes. And that's at like episode 9 to 10. I'm like, what the fuck? The anime's almost over. Why the fuck are you telling me this now, motherfuckers? And the thing that pisses me off the most is the fact that the final team only gets 1 fucking race, and that's the very end. And the very end episode doesn't even make them finish. They just tell me that the main team actually wins. So yeah, that's my main issue with it. But it's still great anime. I still love it. The fucking "You Gotta Show Me," that's one of the soundtrack songs, and it's fucking phenomenal. I love it. Especially how they cue it up on the moments that actually fucking matter. That's why I like this anime, and that's why it's at number 34. But like I said before, there's a lot of stuff that they could have done better with the other teams, and that's why it's not higher on the list. So, with that being said, though, I hope you guys have a nice positive day. Take care, and there's one other thing. When it comes to pervertedness, I'm sorry to say, but I can't believe I keep making this, but there are 2 more perverted animes on this list. Sort of. I know there's one that's perverted, but that's the next sports anime, which we'll get to when we get to it. So, haha. That anime is gonna be interesting because of the fact that that anime is fucking old as dirt. And then the other sports, and then the other perverted anime is the next anime, because the perverted sports anime is later down the list, but the next anime that's perverted is the next anime. Um, I'll give you a little hint. It has to deal with vampires and bullshit fucking powers and the human beings trying not to get killed by demons and lords because he's going to the wrong fucking school. Um, it's it's not like the anime that we watched before because of the fact that the anime that we watched before that has to do with animals, where two human beings go to the school of animals. This, however, makes one student go to the school of demons. I don't get what the fuck is going on, but whatever. So I hope you guys have a nice positive day. Take care, and I hope you have a nice positive day. Princess Stride, top 5. It's in the top 5 of the best sports anime, to my opinion. When it comes to the boxing anime that Sir Jacob taught, me and him were talking about, I'll watch that when I get to 300. I guarantee you that, because a lot of people he's been recommending me this, and also the fact that I've been trying to watch it since the very fucking beginning. I just don't have the fucking time, motherfuckers. So stay positive, and I hope you have a nice. Sorry, can't help myself.